What up, though? Check it out. Going right off into it. Um, I've been checking out a couple of vids out here in regards to sound quality when it comes to people doing their music and so forth, right? What I want to say about that is this, okay? Sound quality, first off, sound quality is a thing that is totally subjective to one's eardrum, okay? And when I say sound quality, I'm talking about bass, mids, treble, all right? That's what we're talking about. How something sounds to one's eardrum, again, is totally subjective. And when you ride in your car, and some radios inside of your vehicles, you have EQs, you have preset EQ settings, and then you have a bass and treble separate adjustment features, right? Just real quick on nostalgia shit. Remember back in the day when they used to have the tone button where you just turn it and it goes to the closed end, which kind of increased the bass, and to the right to increase the highs. Anyway, getting back to subject at hand. It's totally subjective. And that's one side of the fence, okay? You got sound quality over here. This is the subjective side. On this side of the fence, you have it whereas you can make comparisons in terms of saying what's, bad and good, if you will, because on this side of the fence, this is where people have categorized and platformed different templates of sound quality in terms of bad or good. All right. Let's take, for instance, and I always use these polar opposite examples because both were very successful and both made huge impacts, and there's a crowd for both. On one side, you got Wu-Tang, Into the 36 Chambers, right? On the other side, we could go with Dr. Dre's The Chronic, okay? Now, I love the grimy, dirty, dirt in the corner, dusty shit. I love it. I love that grimy tone, right? And that's, coming from the RZA and what have you. Then on the other side, you have Dr. Dre with The Chronic. Now, since we've known who Dr. Dre was, we can go all the way back to the Wrecking Crew. Dr. Dre's sound quality has always been clean. Okay? It's been clean. All right? And as you can go through the time period or whatever, I've never heard Dr. Dre make a grimy, gritty sound quality sounding track. His roughest textures, his dirtiest, darkest textures were still always clean and crisp. Heavy density on the bass, mids, nice and level, and the highs were pitch perfect, so to say. Okay? On the other side, the RZA, his style, to use the Master Hand and Jim Kelly quote from Into the Dragon, His style is unorthodox, but effective. All right. RZA, for the most part, has always, in a sound quality way, regardless of the texture, okay, has been dirty, gritty, and grimy. It sounds like a AM radio, sound quality wise. And that's no diss because I love that sound, right? Whereas Dr. Dre has always, sound quality wise, sounded like FM radio. You dig what I'm saying? So when I speak of textures, let's take Dr. Dre's Feel Good track. Nothing like a G thing, right? When you just listen to that song, there's nothing that makes you want to get aggressive and grit your teeth. And that's a nice, smooth, ride out track. And the quality, the sound quality, sound template of it sounds like it's clean and it's FM radio-ish. Okay? Now going to the other side, RZA, let's take the joint with him and Mary J. Right? You're all I need to get by. Love song, feel good track, right? That's the texture. It's a feel good song. But sound quality wise, it was still dusty and dirty, right? AM radio like. You know what I mean? And again, I'm using both of these examples, the RZA and Dr. Dre, because they're polar opposites in terms of sound quality. Yet, they both were massively influential and successful in the world of music. You know what I mean? And I'm saying all that to say that sound quality is subjective because there is no one template that's the shit. You know what I mean? Any template can be used accordingly. And I mean, it can rock. You know what I'm saying? But I look at I've been checking out these videos and so forth, and it talks about how people in home studios sounds like a it was recorded in a home studio, as opposed to going to a quote unquote professional / commercial studio where they're going to give you that lacquer of the, industry standard sound template, which, in short means that it's radio ready. Okay. Now, if you speaking traditionally in terms of what sound quality is, Wu-Tang's sound, the dirty, gritty, grimy AM radio sound, was not considered to be, or it is not considered to be a radio-ready sound, right? But Dr. Dre's clean, crisp FM radio sound qualifies as radio-ready, okay? And again, I'm saying all that to say that you could go from this AM radio sound extreme to the FM radio sound extreme and everything in between. And if you know what you're doing, you can make it sound quality. Now, granted, I have heard some things out here that wasn't really pleasurable to my ear sound quality wise. Okay? But again, that's why I say it's subjective, because I said, if you just notice what I said, it wasn't appealing to my ears, but it may be great to someone else's ears. You know what I mean? So if I go in my lab right now and record something straight and then put it out straight off the presses no adjusting, no pans, no EQing, no nothing. Will it necessarily sound like it was done in a home studio? I mean, or if I was to go to a professional commercial studio and I take it straight off the rack, no EQ and no pan and no nothing, right? If I just took it straight off the press, is it still acceptable? Is it, sound quality worthy? Is it radio ready worthy? You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, like, in the world of sound and mastering and mixing and so forth, people have made that radio ready sound the nth of quality recording, if you will, right? When I don't necessarily think that that's true, because again, if you know what you're doing, you could put a whole new spin on the antithesis of radio ready quality. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that's why there are so many different templates. Like, say for instance, if you go in your phone or on your television or on your radio, your Bluetooth speakers, whichever app you use, right? And you go into the EQ setting, you'll see presets that have already been designed for how you figure it sounds right to your eardrum. You have pop, you have jazz, you have rock, you have voice, you have classical, and each one of those settings accentuates different tones more so than the other settings. That's why they're preset and EQ'd the way that they are for those presets. In a vocal preset, it's like the mid-range is higher and it brings forth more, again, mid-range, voice and all of that kind of stuff. It kind of cuts down on the bass and the treble, right? When you go to rock or jazz, right, you're focusing more on the bass end and the highs, the low and the high end, those ends, okay? And then those presets are developed, and so on and so forth. And if you go through your presets, you'll understand better what I'm talking about if you're already not familiar with what I'm saying. And you'll hear the sound differences in any of them. Can I say this one sounds better than the other? No, I really can't, because and I'm going to say, if I could say it to just finalize it for whatever everybody else is saying, I can't speak for the masses. I can only speak for what sounds good to my eardrum. Okay? And the same thing goes for everybody else. Everybody has a different particular type of setting that they like to use to listen to whatever they're listening to. Simple and plain. So with that being said, there is no one top upper echelon of sound quality. It is totally subjective. I dare you to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Leave a comment down here. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, like, and all of that good shit. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to what y'all got to say. You know what I mean? So, again, put them joints like right around here at the bottom, right there. And, I like and I reply and I subscribe back to folks too. So, holla at your peoples. Let me know what's up.